Ladies, happy day 11. I'm breaking all of my business rules and I'm going live from hotel bed. It just seemed like the right thing. This is what my heart wanted. I'm here to honor my heart. I've got a real bad crapshoot setup situation going on here with my camera and my light and all of the things. It's a very ghetto rig. Hopefully it doesn't fall over. Even more important to that than that, hopefully I'm here at the right time. I can't believe that happened yesterday. I was surprised that there was not more people on the live, but I also know it's week 2 and sometimes attendance falls off, so I didn't even think about it twice, and I was bummed about the time zone. So I apologize for anyone who was with that in their calendar thinking that they were going to be live with me yesterday. That was a mega mistake on my bad. So hopefully I'm on time. Alyssa's here. Yay, Alyssa. 2 nights in a row live with you. Who else is here? Pop in and tell me hi when you're here. Give some hearts so I can see your little bubble. I hope we're okay. These hotels are giving me a lot of stress. Heather, yay. Sissy and Lala live from Rome. Show offs. These girls woke up at like 3 in the morning to be live here with us today. I'm honored and grateful. Thank you so much. I'm glad that I could be here on time because they set their alarm to wake up in the middle of the night on their vacation to Rome last night too, and I had already gone live. But I hope that ultimately that was good news so that you could just go back to sleep. So I'd love to hear where everybody is at on their journey. You know, the more you talk to me, the more you share in the group, the more I can lead the conversations and lead the message to the unique experience that we're having here in this group. So I love to hear how you doing. Are you feeling good? Are you having a hard time? Are you feeling open? Are you feeling stuck? Is there really challenging things happening? If so, what's going on? Are you hearing your heart song? Hi, Carrie Rose. I checked in on Carrie Rose today. I was just saying that it really, really helps me to hear how you guys are doing in the group. And since this is an organic experience, it helps me to kind of know where to lead the conversations. And I know where the conversation is going to go to today, but we have one more live talk story call like this tomorrow morning. And then our last 2 calls are Zoom calls. And they are quantum healing stuff, ceremonial activations and healing exercises. So I would love to hear from you. How are you doing? Let's check in before we dive in. Hi, Carrie. How are you doing, my dear? I'm breaking my live stream rules and I'm tuning in live from my hotel bed today. I'm very strict about how I present live, and I don't normally present from the bed or from the bathroom floor anymore. Super tired and headache today. Full moon afterglow. I know you've been crying a lot too, processing so many things. And I saw it looks like you kind of revisited going back into your book. Yes? Carrie is writing a book right now, banging it out. You were so inspiring when Heather and I were getting ready to go on our book writing retreat. So awesome to see the people that I know like writing their books. So inspiring. Had 2 naps. Must be nice. You're showing off now. Heather and Sam are showing off because they're in Rome and you're showing off with your naps. All right. I'd love to hear somebody's heart song. I haven't seen any shares yet in the group, and I would love to hear somebody's heart song. What is Bobinsana speaking to your heart, calling you to do, calling you to bring to the world, or maybe calling you to do in your day to day? Anybody feeling inspired? Alyssa, I felt off today for the first time. What kind of way? Off in what kind of way? Carrie Rose, hard for me to get a true feeling read since I just got my period. Yeah, definitely. I feel you on that. Book writing, land, and finances today. So my heart today is very, very blown open. I'm in a very positive space with Bobinsana right now. I'm feeling really hopeful about a lot of things. I'm feeling like I've figured out a lot of things. I feel like I've broken through a lot of my patterns, especially with men. I could be wrong, but I feel very positive about my experience right now. My heart song was asking me to write my book today, even though it's challenging. I love that. My heart song was sentimental today, and I was deciding if I was going to get up really early this morning and go get in the hot tub at the hotel I was staying at. And I decided to get up at 4 o'clock this morning and go get in the hot tub. And it's something that I've always wanted to do at this hotel, and I never do it. I saw these people one morning, like at sunrise, in this gorgeous hot tub in front of the ocean, this giant hot tub. And I was like, man, I'm going to do that sometime on one of my trips to Cancun. And this morning was the day. And I went out there, I took my Bobinsana, went out, got in the hot tub, and the full moon was just like shining. And it was dark still, of course, because it was 4 a.m. But I was out there and I was looking, and I was thinking about one of the times I was at this hotel, and it was actually the first time I had seen people in the hot tub. And I remember that trip specifically because I had just started talking to the man that I was involved with over this summer that is my most recent heartbreak. The man that I really thought for sure was going to be in my life. And I remember wishing so badly that he was in Mexico with me, and how cool that would be, and how we would go to Mexico someday. And needless to say, I'm not in that relationship, because you ladies would have heard about it. But I'm not in that relationship, but that person's still very near and dear to my heart, and I communicate with him sometimes. And so I'm down there in the hot tub today, and I'm looking up at the hotel, and most of the rooms are dark. Some of the rooms have lights on, and I'm thinking about all the people that are on vacation in Mexico, all the people that are there with their lover or their husband or their boyfriend or their family, and I'm there by myself. And I'm thinking about what people are doing in their rooms, the people that are making love, the people who are snuggling, all the things. And I was just sitting there, and I was feeling really proud of myself, because I could so easily feel so sorry for myself, or feel so disappointed that I wasn't there with a lover or a family or whatever, right? And I just was so calm in my heart. And I remember just sitting in the water and just I started to hug myself a little bit. I just looked up at the moon, and I was thinking about God, and just feeling in the feelings of being myself. And I felt so centered and so calm and so hopeful. And you know what? God, that's the place to be. Bless Bobinsana. Bless the work. Bless all of the self-development. Bless all of the going through all the things. Bless all of the heartbreak. And just bless following my heart song to get my butt up this morning at 4 a.m. and go down and get in this hot tub and be there for that moment with myself in this big, 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 big world. It was great. Carrie, I had a date last night, and it brought up stuff around receiving. He's going to come back again, and he wants to please me and love on me. And I was like, oh my, he's going to come back. I'm going to have to open to this. Not that it's a bad thing, it's asking me to be open to receive and connect. This is a little scary to receive and connect, right? Especially when we think that we have a receiving wound. I was thinking about that the other day, about how it's this interesting idea that we believe that we have receiving wounds and that we're working on our receiving wounds. And while like this concept and idea is like valid and comes from a valid train of thought, right? But yet we're female and we were literally designed by God to be able to receive. So receiving is ultimately innate for us. But there's so many women, including myself, saying things about ourselves like, I have a receiving wound. And it's just really interesting. And I think that I personally, you can let me know if you relate to this, but I think that I've magnified my ability to receive by feeling like I have this receiving wound. And I'm tired of feeling like that. Tired of feeling like that. So what's it bring up for you? Like, is it that you feel afraid to receive? Is it that you feel like you can't trust it? Does it feel like you're going to get hurt or you're going to get let down? What's the part? Just out of curiosity. I know for me, my like ability to receive is not so much because I am afraid to or afraid of getting hurt. Like I'm very good at getting hurt. I'm very good at breakups. Even though I don't want to go through them, I know that I can. But my receiving seems to be attached to worthiness. I remember, this is like a very like private, intimate thing to tell you ladies, but I remember I was kind of like a late bloomer when it comes to orgasms. And I remember when I very first had an orgasm with a partner, and he was so amazing to me, and I had never really had an orgasm with an partner before. I don't know if that's common for you ladies, but I had been having sex and, intercourse for a long time and wasn't really having the orgasmic experience. And I remember being involved with him and him realizing that I was in that place, and he was so sweet to me and so great to me. And he was like, let me help you figure out how to have an orgasm. Like you should be having orgasms, when you're with a partner, like a partner should be giving you orgasms. And it was just like, or being with you to have orgasms. And it was mind blowing to me. Right. And so I was so grateful, and I had like some shame attached to it and whatnot, but it was like revolutionary for me. And after that relationship, the next person that I was like really with was my husband. And I can remember for so many years, literally, we would be making love, and I would out loud ask him if it was okay for me to have an orgasm. Like we'd be making love, and of course he's wanting me to have an orgasm, but the like feeling would be coming up, and there would be this like shadow side of myself inside where I would literally like be about to be having an orgasm, and I would ask him if it was okay. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, this is a real thing, you guys. This is a real thing that was happening for me in my marriage in my 20s. And he would be like, yes, like, of course it's okay, right? And he was like, never understand like why I would say that, because he never made me feel like it wasn't okay. But it was coming from this like deep place of questioning if I was allowed and if it was okay. And ultimately that's a worthiness. That's a worthiness issue. And we are born worthy, right? Like we are born with the ability and the right to have orgasms. So why would we be ever questioning if it's okay for us to have an orgasm? Amen, Sam. I'm not sure how that conversation just went that direction that quick, but here we are. Oh my, thank you for sharing that. I actually had a guy I was with do that. He tried to stop pleasure. Yeah. Did he try to stop your pleasure? Or did he do that? Did he ask if it was okay for him to have an orgasm? We are all worthy of orgasms. It's literally our birthright. Literally, that's the definition of birthright. Birthright. Orgasms are our birthright. His. Yeah, okay, so, and I know that personally, like, because I've dissected this and I've gone into this and I've had a lot of therapy over this, and energy work and whatnot, and ayahuasca ceremonies and plant medicine to figure these things out. And, my worthiness is directly attached to my trauma and my shame. I have trauma and shame attached to sexual exploration and my own sexual growth from when I was younger. Feeling bad about certain things and, feeling like wrong about certain things, and just really genuinely, obviously there was a question inside of me that was not sure if it was okay for me to feel this pleasure, if it was okay for me to experience that. And I wonder what was going on for him. Like, where did he get that negative association, right? I mean, we know where a lot of people get a negative association with pleasure. The church is often a place that this comes up for a lot of people, obviously, and conditioning from our parents and shame and like, don't touch yourself, don't masturbate, don't all of the things. And there's so much sexual misconduct and sexual molestation and sexual trauma that's happening. We have like this really skewed like perspective and viewpoint on pleasure and sex and what's okay and what's not okay and what to do when something is not okay but you want to, and all of the things. Fuck yes for orgasms. I am actually afraid of going there. I am actually afraid of going there with this guy now that I think about it. I haven't had an orgasm from sex since being with my husband. I've been very selective of who I have sex with, played with people, but multiple haven't made it to sex. So now I'm in a place with this guy where I can move towards sex and something is resistance here. You could feel into a couple things there, right? There's a rite of passage also I think you're going through. Like, I know you're going through a divorce, but if the last person that you had that experience with your husband, there might be even a little something right there. Maybe it's not even all about a receiving wound, but, going to that place and having that experience with somebody that's not your soon-to-be ex-husband, no matter how mad you guys are and like how bad it sucks right now, it's still your ex-husband. It's still your husband. It's still the man you married. Still the father of your children. And there's a lot of emotions entangled there. I remember the very first sexual experience, full-on sexual experience that I had when I was transitioning out of my marriage. And my husband was a really good person. He loved me. But there was always something off for us. And a lot of it was my own fault, right? I'm literally asking him if it's okay for me to come. Like, obviously some of it's my fault. A lot of it. But there was always just something off with him. But I kept believing that there was more to potentiality for making love and being connected and, having the experience of ecstasy and bliss and in our sexual exchanges. And I remember when I slept with my partner after my husband for the very first time. And I remember it viscerally. I remember it so well. The full moon was shining in through this window, and I was down on this farm where he lived way out in the boonies, off grid. And we ended up going upstairs into this loft of this farmhouse that he was staying in. And we ended up, I don't even know, all of a sudden it just happened. I wasn't planning on it, and it just happened. And I remember being on top of him and having literally like my heart fucked open for the first time. And I remember feeling like this was finally it. And I was like crying, and I was on top, and I was like, I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. And I guess what it was that I knew was that I knew there was intimacy with a greater heart depth connection available for me. And I knew that I needed that depth of connection in the heart for me to really get to that place of ecstasy with lovemaking. And it was life-changing and revolutionary. And my sex life and my ability for intimacy and just like where I go and who I am and how I am has forever changed since then. And that was a very amazing thing for me to experience personally. And it was also a new layer of grief and a new layer of mourning for my marriage. And it also made me so sad for my husband, because my husband probably knew that that kind of feeling was available, that kind of connection was available, but he never was able to have it with me for whatever reason. And I had so much sadness thinking about how sad it was that I could have been married to him for so long and been with him so long, and that we weren't getting to connect like that. I'm still sad about it in my heart a little bit right now. So just sharing that to just really think about all the possibilities of where maybe the resistance is coming from or residing from. Interesting. Oh, let's see. Wait, Heather Marie, I was scared to have my first solo orgasm. Wait, Sam, you were scared to have your first solo orgasm, like when you were younger? Any details? Carrie says, interestingly, I've had sex with multiple people, including great sex with a guy I dated, but still haven't been to full climax. I realize it's a safety thing. Ah, I see. Yes, safety. Yes, safety. It's amazing what can happen when you really feel safe. Right? The floodgates open for me when I'm actually safe. And I know that if my floodgates aren't opening, I'm not actually in the right place because I actually don't feel safe. Yes, as a teenager, scared to have your first solo orgasm. And look at you now, Sam. So into pleasuring somebody else, but scared to please yourself. I can resonate with that. I can definitely resonate with that. I'd still, to this day, probably have more things to work through, but I still, to this day, would rather be in an intimate exchange with somebody else than one just with myself. I know that's an issue. No one needs to tell me or remind me. I know that's an issue, but it's truth for me. I really like sexual exchange and union so much. Until I finally did it, I was like, fuck yes. I love that for you. So much. All right. So we are going to talk a little bit today about self-esteem and self-confidence. So as I was saying on the beginning of the call, this is an organic experience, and I gear the experience and the topics and the conversations and all of the things to where the group is at. And we've had some incredible shares, and I'm looking for like themes and topics. And one of the things that I picked up on in the very beginning when we were first having our orientation call and people were first sharing as I picked up, there is a frequency of a lot of death and transition energy within this group. A lot of people expressed that they had been dealing with a lot of like death and unexpected things in their families. And that is one theme of this group for sure. And we are going to go there in one of our last 2 Zoom calls. I told Heather we were going to have a death portal. She was like, great. We're not exactly going to have a death portal, but we are definitely going to touch that in one of the last Zoom calls. And then looking for other themes, you know, when I watched the Dark Heart shares, some of the other things that were coming up were, you know, relationships and worrying about having a partner and feeling the feelings of not feeling enough and, you know, that pain of being alone and wondering if you're going to ever have somebody again. And some other things have been shared about, you know, feeling angry with self or regretting decisions that one has made. And those are kind of like the themes that were standing out. I know, you know, when we're in a group experience, not everybody feels comfortable sharing really deeply, just not a vibe for everyone, and everybody's on their own experience. But some of the things that I'm picking up on have led me to feel like we should just talk a little bit today about self-esteem and self-confidence. And I believe that today's a perfect day to do it. It's International Women's Day. And I think that every woman could benefit from really understanding how to harness more self-esteem and more confidence. Because let's face it, we are divinely created beings. We are literally the carriers of life. We are not the seed, but we are the integration station that actually brings things to life. We are the mothers. We have our wombs. We are the ultimate creators, and we are badass and so powerful. Yet, as the female race, we have been second-classed, we have been dumbed down, we have been silenced, we have been held down, judged, made to feel lesser than, all of the things. I don't have to, you know, spell them out because each one of you knows because you're a woman, right? But the truth is we are radiant, beautiful flowers. Our bodies are literally designed to have a literal flower that blooms and opens us to a portal. A literal portal opens within us that holds and creates life. We are glorious beings. And it would be amazing if everybody could just feel a little bit more confident and have a little bit more self-esteem. And so we're going to talk about it. So there are some very serious differences between self-esteem and self-confidence. And it's important to know the difference. And so the first thing is, when it comes to self-confidence can be externally created and can be validated externally. And that's the main difference between self-confidence and self-esteem. Self-esteem is an inside job. And there are incredible pros and cons to each of these being something that could be cultivated outside of you and something that can only be cultivated inside of you. And so the thing about self-confidence is you can have self-confidence without having self-esteem. Okay, self-esteem is how you innately, truly feel about yourself on the inside. Okay, like in the heart of your heart, deep within yourself, how you really feel about yourself. Your confidence is more the feeling that you have for yourself in your relationship to the external world. So someone cannot have a lot of confidence, but they can have really deep levels of self-esteem for themselves. And somebody can have a ton Our tech and Wi-Fi is losing you. Oh, your tech and Wi-Fi. Okay, good. I thought you meant my tech and Wi-Fi. I was like, that's not good. I hate to lose you, but that's okay. You guys should go back to sleep. You're rock stars. Thank you for setting your alarm for 3 a.m. to get up for this call. Now go to bed. Hi, Gina. All right, so you can be low in your self-confidence, but have a lot of self-esteem and love for yourself. And on the flip side, you can be very confident and be greatly lacking self-esteem. And I think that we all have met those people, right? People who are very oftentimes attached to their ego, sometimes people who are extremely attached to, you know, what they look like, what their physicality is, how hot they are, what they've achieved, you know, all of these kind of external things. Somebody can be like so beautiful by beauty standards, have the hottest body, drive the coolest car, but really have darkness inside them, right? Really can be really dark and not a good place, being not in a good place in the side of them. And so here's the deal with self-confidence is you can gain self-confidence by studying. You can gain self-confidence by learning a new trick or a new tool or a new trade. You can gain self-confidence by getting a breast enhancement. You can gain self-confidence by getting Botox. Gina, I see you here. I'm mentioning Botox. I had the funniest message exchange ever of my medicine woman career with Gina the other day about Botox. You can have a really nice house, living in a really nice neighborhood and feel confident, right? You can win. You can be the winner of something and have more confidence. You can have a really fly outfit and have more confidence. I feel more confident. Absolutely no shame there, girl. No shame. I feel more confident when I present professionally in a chair with a good ring light being put together than I do in the bed like I am right now or on the bathroom floor in my pajamas without a good ring light. We can put makeup on and feel better about ourselves, right? This is all things that create self-confidence. And the awesome thing about self-confidence activities, self-confidence creators, is that you can create self-confidence for you at any time. There is no limit to the self-confidence that you can create. And it is vital that we are doing things to cultivate our self-confidence, okay? Self-esteem, on the flip side, is an inside job. And the good thing about this is all of the power resides in you. No one else can do it for you. You can't do something to get it. You can't, nobody else can be the one to grant you it. No one else can make any opinion about it, which is awesome. And on the flip side of that, that means our self-esteem is 100% our role and our job, and there's nobody else that can do it. And if you don't have good self-esteem, it's ultimately up to you to build it up. And this is a huge responsibility, right? It's all up to us. Absolutely. So much power in this, and so much like, what the fuck in this, right? And so where I'm taking this conversation is a lot of the hurts that some people have expressed in this group have to do with being loved and being in relationship and going through those kinds of exchanges, right? Some people are on a path right now where they're really trying to figure out who they are and what they're doing in the world and really trying to find the confidence to bring their visions to life. You know, Gina is somebody that I know personally who's really trying to bring big visions to life. She started a new company a couple months ago, and like she's really cultivating her confidence to bring this vision to life. And she's doing all kinds of things to bring this vision to life. She's hiring people to help her create a beautiful aesthetic for her business, right? She had somebody help her build a website. She's hired people to help coach her, to position her to be this person, to bring it through. She's dedicating herself. She's studying. She's doing all of these incredible things to help boost her confidence, to bring this vision through. And that's going to take her really far, right? She's got a beautiful website. I egged her on to post her website in here. If you didn't see it, you missed out. It's gorgeous. She opened a luxury concierge business on the Big Island of Hawaii. If you don't know, now you know. It's called Celerity. And she's doing all these incredible things that are going to really help with her self-confidence. But the thing underneath the self-confidence that's going to be the thing that is actually the foundation for her to be successful in this venture is actually her self-esteem. Gina has to actually believe on the inside fully and in full effect, in totality, or get on page with it, or get in the belief system and get in the mindset that she really is that bitch to run this show, that she really has what it takes, that she really is the embodiment of the person who creates these kinds of experiences for people. She has to be confident to know that she can be trustable in running a business like this, relying on her team, relying on the things that she's going to build, relying on her services, knowing that she's going to come through, knowing that she's really this person inside that's able to hold this. She's going to need to cultivate the person who is strong enough on the inside and is able to believe on the inside when nothing on the outside looks like it's working. That person that believes in herself so much and has so much faith in herself. That comes from the inside. We don't get it from how many clients we have. We don't get it from how much money we made. We don't get it from how many likes we're getting or how many visits to the website we saw happen when we look at the back end analytics. Those things aren't going to lead her. They're going to give her confidence, right? But the self-esteem is going to be where she finds her staying power. The level of self-esteem that she has inside for herself is what's going to sail this through. Or Botox. She look good in those pictures on her website. That Botox definitely helping with the self-confidence. For sure, 100. You feel me? And so then how does this also resonate in relationships, for example? So for me, on paper, logistically speaking, I very much understand relationships. I've studied relationship dynamics. I understand about attachment styles. I know about astrology. I understand human design. I know how to communicate well. I've studied emotional intelligence. I've gone through a lot of breakups, even have a course about it. I know how to work with plant medicine. I've gone to really deep places in my heart, right? I have a lot of confidence with what it takes to be a partner, right? Good thing you like your Botox. I hate it. Oh, Heather. No offense, but I'm personally happy that you hate it. But I know that was a sucky experience for you. I digress. So, externally speaking, I have incredible confidence. I feel comfortable talking to people. I feel comfortable opening my heart. I feel comfortable putting myself out there. I'm okay with going on dates. I like to get dressed up for them and go out and meet new people. I'm good with the conversation. Logistically speaking, I have a lot of confidence when it comes to relationships, right? Yet every single time I get into a relationship, I'm convinced that the person that I'm in said relationship with doesn't actually want me and doesn't actually love me or doesn't actually love me enough. And this is a repetitive, sabotaging process that I watch myself go through again and again and again. So much so that the people who are really close to me that have seen me go through many relationships have sat me down to seriously talk to me about this. right? And so if I'm confident and I have a lot of confidence, and logistically speaking and on paper, I'm a prime candidate for a relationship, what is going on with my self-esteem that is making me believe that even when men are showing up in my life, truly I'm believing that they don't really want me, that they're gonna leave, that it's not real, that it's not good enough. Whatever it is, there's this doubt and this fear. And then what happens? The relationship sabotages. I can honestly say that I've probably been a primary player. I'm not going to put the full blame on myself, but I've been the primary player in the sabotage of almost every single one of my relationships. I never am able to receive the love. I'm never able to fully take it in. I'm never able to get comfortable and settle in it. And so what is that? What is running underneath for me? I believe I'm not worthy. Exactly, Carrie. Exactly. And like, if the truth is that everything that's meant for us is meant for us and will be, then when something really good is showing up in our life for us, regardless of what the extended outcome is, no matter if it went bad or you broke up or whatever, if you have a really good thing going on for you in your life and you're having a hard time receiving it, right? Or believing it or trusting it, and then it shifts or changes and it goes away. What came first, the chicken or the egg? Because when it comes to alignment, it's in alignment if it's mutual. That's my belief system around alignment. If it is mutual, then it's in alignment. You can have a relationship that has its ups and downs, but if the energy is mutual and the two of you are working through it and working towards it and like focused on it, then it's in alignment. It doesn't have to be perfect to mean that it's in alignment. It just has to be mutual. So when you're in something good, right? Twin flame, whatever it is, you know, and you can't stop yourself from wondering and asking and doubting and letting your level of self-esteem run the show, or lack of level of self-esteem run the show, and then pretty soon the sabotage is real, and then before you know it, the relationship has changed or shifted or gone away, or they've moved on, or they've ghosted you, or they've left, and then you're back in that place and you're like, I knew it couldn't be real. I knew this wasn't for me. I knew this wasn't going to happen, and guess what? You were right. But what came first, the chicken or the egg? Perfect example of this is like, have you ever seen people on the internet that are really, really good, especially in the coaching and mentorship business, and they basically tell you that their shit is the best? And it's kind of annoying from a marketing standpoint, but they feel so confident about their stuff because their shit is literally the best. And then you end up buying it because they said their shit's literally the best on some level, right? Like you might not realize on the surface level that you bought it for that reason, but we buy from people who are incredibly confident, right? And I truly believe that these people who speak about their work in this way, many of them truly believe this internally and have an incredibly powerful level of self-esteem that they've cultivated because they are ultimately able to receive so much. They're ultimately able to do such incredible things, and we watch them and we witness them, and they are so powerful in their ability to receive. They are so powerful in their confidence and in their self-esteem. Now, this is not to say that things are perfect for them, right? But there's something going on for them where they really, truly, externally and internally believe that everything is possible for them and that everything is working out for them and that they are worthy now. I can think of somebody really amazing that is a shining example of this. For any of you who are familiar with Amanda Frances and her work, one of her famous quotes is, I am worthy because I am. She believes that fully. And she's one of the most successful people in the coaching and mentorship industry. And there are so many women that play that role. Carrie says, oh my God, I didn't think about it till now, but my bestie that got into bed with my twin flame reached out yesterday after 2 months to say she misses me. And it totally brought shit up. I bet it did. I can't imagine what that was like to find your bestie in bed with the person who you felt was your twin flame. That's him, right? That's a lot to process. What does that do in your self-confidence, in your self-esteem field for you right now? Where are you at in your ability to hone your confidence and in your ability for your esteem for yourself? What's your reaction? That confidence can sell stuff even when it sucks and even when they're out of integrity. That's true as well. We did say that we can have incredible self-confidence without self-esteem. 1000%. Yes, Gina. So let's check in with ourselves a little bit right now, right? We've been on this Bobasana. We've been touching our dark heart. We've been exploring some of the things that have been on our minds and on our hearts. We've been looking at the things, we've been journaling, we've been opening ourselves, we've been available, we're taking right responsibility, we're looking at boundaries, we're thinking about love without end, we're looking a little bit deeper into what our part was, what our part isn't, but then also making sure to look at what our part is. And so where are we at? Where are we at with our self-esteem and our self-confidence? I have strong self-confidence. I do wild things. Self-esteem is the one that I'm continually working on. And I have to say that it's gotten so much better. It's gotten so much better, even in the way that I'm exchanging with the man that I'm talking to right now, with how I'm showing up for myself, how I'm not, what's the word? Contorting, how I'm not in any way trying to hide any part of myself. How I was able to sit in the hot tub this morning and look back at the hotel resort and look at all of the bedroom windows and think about all the people making love on vacation, you know, on their anniversaries, on their honeymoons, snuggled up, whatever. And I could just sit in that hot tub and honestly, truly feel so good inside. This does not negate the longing and yearning that I have for a relationship. But that whole thing, that whole bullshit thing, irritating thing where people tell you like, you have to really love yourself first. First of all, you could fall in love at any time. A lot of people who don't love themselves that great are in love. But there is something to that statement. The process is going to hit differently when you really do love yourself, when you are really comfortable in yourself. And that is your self-esteem being nurtured, being taken care of, being solid, being paid attention to. Doesn't have to be perfect, but when you're able to cultivate good self-esteem, it moves mountains in your world. And so we're talking about all the ways that we can externally create self-confidence, which there's tons of ways that we can create self-confidence, but how can we create good self-esteem? And I'll tell you right now, first off, many of the exercises and the thought processes and the perspectives that I've been leading you through this experience are to teach you how to cultivate good self-esteem. Creating boundaries for yourself helps your self-esteem. It helps you to know that you respect yourself. Boundaries is an incredible way to lift your self-esteem. Your self needs to know that you've got you. Your self needs to know that no matter what, you're the one that's going to be there for you. You're going to protect you. This is where boundaries comes in. Carrie says, it brings up, I'm worthy of more than a friendship with someone who does that. And I miss her. I also consider love without end with this too. It's absolutely possible, of course, 100% if you want it. And it's also a great opportunity for you to practice boundaries, not for her, but for yourself. And I bet she does miss you. I imagine she has a whole cup full of regret. I'm sure you're a really great friend. Gina says, I'm reminded to be more me in every moment, and that even in a relationship, it's still up to me to fill my own cup with what I desire. Yeah. And yes to boundaries. It's a big theme in 2022. It was a big theme. Yes, it was, Gina. Gina bossed out some boundaries in major ways in 2022 with family members and like all kinds of very serious boundaries. Yeah. Let's remember when we create the boundaries, it's never about the other person, right? It's never about like, yes, I'll let you back in my life, but these are my terms for you. Those boundaries, they're created on the inside of you. The boundaries are never for them, right? I go through conversations sometimes with clients who are hurting over something and they just want to have these big conversations and they want to just like set the tone, or they want to give the ultimatum or find out the thing. And there's so many moves that can be made without having to involve the other person. There's so many answers that can be answered without having to involve the other person in a big declaration of boundaries and setting the things. It's really beautiful, actually, how much we can create for ourselves just on our own. So how can we continue to cultivate self-esteem? So boundaries, number one, being honest and taking right responsibility. These eliminate the feelings that we have of shame and guilt. And we're like filled with shame and guilt inside. Our self-esteem goes low. Those are some of the heaviest emotions, and it makes us feel really bad about ourselves. It very much lowers the frequency. Those are very low frequency emotions. And when you're carrying around shame and guilt, it's usually because you're out of right responsibility with something. And this shit happens, right? We're human. But getting into right responsibility, having the conversation, doing the right thing, apologizing, whatever. But getting into right responsibility is going to help you feel better about yourself. It's going to make you not feel so cringe. It's going to position you not to have to shudder when you think about certain things. And when you're in that place, your frequency lowers. This is going to reverse that. Self-esteem can also be created by taking care of yourself. So I guess it could be argued like that Botox could also boost self-esteem. I digress. What I mean is, nurturing the self, taking care of the self, sleeping, feeling good, pleasuring, loving on self, doing the things that feel good to you. Eating the foods, getting the rest, loving on thyself, taking care of the vessel. This is going to increase your self-esteem. If we have the resistance to receive entangled with our self-esteem issues, that wouldn't it make sense that also if we could also just allow ourselves to actually receive, that it would somehow boost our self-esteem and rewrite our self-esteem stories and issues that we're having. It seems a little counterintuitive, but how good would it feel to just actually receive? What else? What else can we do to increase self-esteem? Those are great places to start. Learning about ourselves more, spending more time with our thoughts, working through our own processes, feeling like we understand ourselves, feeling like we take the time to really figure ourselves out and give ourselves the time and the patience, having grace and forgiveness for ourselves. Grace and forgiveness. I keep thinking about one of the posts that Gabby wrote, how she had said she was upset with herself. That hit me so deeply because there has been so many times that I've been upset with myself. This lowers my self-esteem. This is a very judgmental place to be from, coming from inside yourself. You being upset with you, valid on a lot of levels and also harsh. Really, really harsh. I keep saying yes to receiving even when it's challenging. Yeah, remember the story you were sharing the other day, Carrie, about how this man had taken you out and like treated you to like, I can't remember the exact thing, but treated you to several meals. And it was kind of like the first time you had experienced something like that in maybe a really long time. Hell yeah, you're learning to say yes to receiving. Self-discovery and grace. There's so many ways to raise our self-esteem. So I think it's up to us to work on both. And I would say lean heavy on the activities and the intentions that are going to raise your self-esteem. With your self-esteem, you have everything. With your confidence, it may look like you have everything, but without the esteem, you don't. Let's have both. We're worthy of having both. All right. You're amazing and perfect as you are. I would love to have you bring any feedback into the group, especially this evening, anything that you're processing through, anything that you want to touch in conversation, either in ceremony or tomorrow. If there's anything else that you want to bring into the conversation, please share it with me. I will be back here early tomorrow morning, way too early for the Hawaii peeps, but I scheduled the call in the morning so that I could fly home to Hawaii tomorrow. So I'll be back in the morning. I love you too, Carrie. You're such an ionic bitch. I love you. You're such an ionic bitch. I love you. You need the iconic hoodie. I'm going to get it for you. All right. I love you guys so much. Oh, I forgot. You probably saw the post, but some of you are coming to the end of your Bobinsana. You might be at the end. It feels a little bit early to be at the end of the Bobinsana, but it's really hard to get the exact same experience for everyone because it varies by user. And if you took 15 drops every day, you are going to be close to the end of your bottle. But every bottle had 10 milliliters, so just trust that the Bobinsana is in your body, and it may have ended a day or two before you wanted it to, but it's there, and it's in your body, and it's working with you. Okay? So just trust that. However it's rolling out for you is just fine. And also, I'm going to put a link up in the group, and I'll go over this again because I know not everybody's watching the videos, but you absolutely can continue to work with Bobinsana. I don't recommend you continue the dieta where you're utilizing Bobinsana every single day. Bobinsana after the dieta time is something for you to use as needed. So maybe you're going through something and you decide, I want to have a Bobinsana day, right? Maybe you're preparing for something, maybe something difficult happens and you want to have the Bobinsana so that you can have it with you. Maybe you have a long day with your children and you want to be as prepared as possible and as centered as possible. Big day, and you decide that you want to work with Bobinsana that day. So we'll talk about this again, but that's how you can begin to integrate Bobinsana into your life. It's a tool. And I want you to take that away. Plant medicines are tools. They're not crutches. They're not necessary. They're for you to utilize so that you can tap into whatever it is that you're desiring to connect to. And that's the guidance that I want you to take for utilizing things like Bobinsana going forward. It's a tool for you to take when you want to tap into your connection. Okay? So I'm going to put a link up in the group. We have a link for a refill. I'll put that in. And that's it for tonight. You're amazing and perfect as you are. I love that it's helping you during your cycle to be gentle and not feel like a wolf. Wow, Gina, I love that for you too. I love that for you so much. And I bet I know some other people, specifically maybe a man in your house, that loves that for you so much too. All right, I love you guys. I'm going to lay in my bed and continue to be an iconic bitch. All right, see you tomorrow.